Hi everyone, before we get to the video, I just wanted to pop in to say a quick thank you since this channel has recently reached 25,000 subscribers. To celebrate, I wanted to look back at some of the first videos I made nearly 5 years ago. It's been quite a journey since then, and I've certainly learned and grown a lot in the process. However, I couldn't have done any of it without you. So thank you to everyone who's watched my videos, shared, liked, commented, and subscribed. I truly appreciate you. And without further ado, here's the video. Ooh, it just sounds kind of sad and not in a good way. Yikes. What was that? I also need to hold myself to a higher standard. I am a little disappointed in that. In this video, I'll be revisiting two of my favorite flute etudes. One is of an intermediate level and the other's a little more advanced. I'll be rewatching both videos to see if there's anything I might want to change or improve. Both of these etudes were recorded in April 2020, so that was kind of a vibe. Although I'm not really excited to revisit that time in life, I am excited to take a look at the etudes. So let's start with Köhler's Opus 33, number 8. This is from his 15 easy exercises, although I wouldn't necessarily call this etude easy. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 5.5 level of difficulty. The fingerwork is not super challenging, however, it does require a good amount of flexibility to make the large intervals. Okay, let's go ahead and play the video. First of all, let's take a look at that backdrop. I guess I was doing the best I could at the time. It was COVID times. I went to the local thrift store and to Target and just tried to put some stuff on the wall. Now I've kind of transitioned to something that's a little bit more plain and neutral, but you let me know what you think. Should I add some artwork back there? One of the first things that I'm noticing is that there is quite a bit of pitch spread between the lows and the highs. So the highs sound a little bit sharp to me and the lows sound a little bit flat. That could be something I could work to improve. Yeah, the G's flat, A's flat, and the highs are a little bit sharp. So I guess this is the number one priority that I'm going to want to try and fix. Yikes, what was that? So it looks like I almost put a fermata over that pickup. I guess probably I wanted to make sure that that note spoke well and I wanted to make it a little bit special. However, I think listening back, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I would want to do that a little bit more in time if I could. I think I could do that second time a little bit more piano, a little bit more delicately. Ooh. So on that last phrase, I also heard that I added an extra articulation. From talking to people out there in the world, I've heard that some teachers are sending my etudes around to their students as examples, and I am extremely humbled and grateful that you're all doing that and that people view some of my recordings as resources. That being said, I also need to hold myself to a higher standard and be very particular that I am minding all of the articulation markings and all of the tempo markings in the music. So I want to do better. So that will be another thing that I will address in this new take. Okay, I think I've heard enough. In general, I think the musicality is okay. I would like some of the vibrato to be just a little bit faster. I would like some of the pitch spread to come a little bit closer, so bringing the lows up and bringing the highs down. And in order to practice that, I'm going to, of course, work with my tuner, and I'll probably try stopping on a few different notes. So maybe I'll stop on the B flat, I'll stop on one of the Fs, the D, and definitely the low notes, just to make sure that I'm keeping those a little bit closer to center of pitch. And in that way, I think the spread will get a lot better. I hope. I understand why I took time in the places that I did. However, I think it's a little bit exaggerated for my taste today. This is a good point that your taste can change over time. The things that appeal to you, the way you take time, you should always stay open to new approaches and not get too tied to what you've done in the past. So I'm going to try, instead of taking such exaggerated time in my new recording, I'm going to try to play through at a little bit more steady of a tempo. So those are some of the things I want to work on: improving the pitch spread, maybe playing through at a more steady pace, and watching the articulations carefully. As a reminder, this was my Köhler Opus 33 number 8 before. And here's my new and hopefully improved version. That was just a preview of the Etude video. Please stay tuned to my channel because the full version will be coming out in the coming weeks. I think I was able to improve some of those things that I set out to improve, such as the time taking as well as the pitch spread. But you let me know what you thought. Did you like the new version better? In addition to the Etude, I also was able to start a new series that I'm calling Inside the Music. This is a more informal discussion of my thoughts about the Etude, including some of my best tips, as well as my inspirations when I practice the music. So, what other types of things were going on in the 1880s? This is always something good for you to be asking if you are looking at a piece of music. When I am looking at an Etude, one of the first things I always like to do is to look at the text. For the title, it's not really a title, it's just a tempo really, allegro moderato. For me, out of these two words, moderato is more important. I don't find that this Etude needs to be particularly fast. Also, grazioso. Grazioso meaning gracefully, or, with grace. As you're approaching this Etude, think about what those words mean to you playing-wise, moderately and gracefully or with grace, or also you could think graciously. I like to think one of the biggest challenges of this Etude, I think, is to start it well. When I teach this, I like to give the visualization of conveyor belt sushi. I think I took a video the last time I was in Japan. But you have to imagine that you're sitting at a counter and there's this conveyor belt running by with all these plates of sushi. First of all, the conveyor belt's not going to stop for you. It's just going to keep going, and what you have to do is just pick off a plate of sushi. So the beginning of this piece is kind of similar. You have to imagine that the music is just kind of flowing forward, and then you're just reaching out to grab that first note. Inside the music for Köhler's Opus 33 number 8 is available right now exclusively for channel members. And you can become a channel member by scanning that QR code or by following the link in the description. In addition to gaining access to some of my exclusive members only content, you'll also be supporting my work such as this. So I thank you greatly in advance. Next up, I wanted to look at something a little more advanced, so I picked Donjon's Élégie Etude from his 8 Études de Salon. Out of a 10, I'd give this about a 7 for difficulty. It's definitely tough, but not the hardest thing I've had to play. Okay, let's watch the video. Similar to my last etude, I think I'm going to want to address some of the pitch issues. There's a little bit of pitch spread and some sagging on some of the long notes. So maybe this is just something that I was going through at the time. Also, this is sounding very slow and lugubrious to me. I think I've heard enough. So taking me back in time, I'm trying to figure out why I went so slowly. I would say that a lot of times when you hear this piece played, it's just like, and you can't hear any of the notes or any of the harmonies, which I think are so important. And so I think I was just trying to be extra careful to make sure that every note was heard. However, in doing so, I think I went way too far in the opposite direction. I really don't like that. It just sounds kind of sad and not in a good way. If you're able to watch the Inside the Music episode for this Donjon Élégie Etude, you'll see that I discuss some of the poetry. In the dark air, the last leaves, I might say the final leaves. Google Translate says ride in ruts. I think it's more like kind of like rolling in a ditch, maybe. I don't know. Are you a French speaker? You let me know. The final leaves of the season. It's a dark night. The leaves are rolling in a ditch. My happiness too. Ugh, ouch. I think that the music is supposed to have definitely an ethereal, an almost otherworldly quality. And I think I was trying to go for that. However, it just really didn't have enough flow because it was too careful in the fingers. So as I revisit this etude, I'm going to want to try and improve on the pitch a little bit, as well as really improve on the flow of the fingers, the flow of the air, and just the smoothness and the large scale phrasing. That's a lot of ands, but I think I can think about all those things at once. Let's see. Just to remind you, here was my Donjon Élégie Etude before. And here's a quick preview of the new version, which is hopefully improved. think I was able to improve on a few of those things. It's certainly not perfect, and I am a little disappointed in that. However, I think it's better than last time, and I'm gonna give myself a couple more years and maybe try to revisit it again. However, some of the issues, especially regarding the phrasing and the flow, I think I was definitely able to work through a little bit better this time. Back in 2020, this was a newer piece to me, and now after a few years of reflection and thinking and practice, I think I was able to come to a more musical approach, I hope. But let me know what you think. In case you want to learn more about Donjon's Élégie Etude, which is definitely a staple of our repertoire, here's another short preview of my Inside the Music episode. Looking at the title of this Etude series, Études de Salon, we have to think about what is salon music. It was a popular music genre in Europe during the 19th century, usually written for solo piano in the Romantic style. Salons are usually fairly short and often focus on virtuoso displays or emotional expression of a sentimental character. Well, I think we get all of these in this little etude. It's short, it has some virtuosic displays and sentimental emotions. So check, check, check. Okay, doesn't necessarily have to be just slow. So I want you to be able to free up your interpretation in that aspect. Stay tuned for the full versions of both etudes coming soon to this channel. However, both Inside the Music episodes for Köhler and Donjon are now currently available as exclusive member-only content. To join as a channel member, please scan this QR code or check out the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you've gotten some value and enjoyment out of this video. If so, please let me know by giving it a like and down in the comments. You can also help me out by subscribing to my channel. Check out my sheet music and apparel at lancesuzuki.com/store. Also, while you're here, here's another video that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching.